Hello, welcome back to Halftime TV. Naranda Brown here, your host, and today we'll be talking about the Reggae Boys fans. Yes, you, me, all the vloggers, all the folks back home who are looking forward to the game against Canada come the next international break. Recently, the Jamaica Football Federation, they doctored a letter and put it to the Jamaican government to allow fans in the national stadium, albeit considering that the necessary protocol is followed and the steps are taken to ensure that it is safe to do so. Now, before I go further into this topic, let me say, please remember, like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments whatsoever, please leave it in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to address it. All right. I haven't been with you guys for maybe 2 or 3 days. There's different news stories breaking over in athletics, Bolt versus Shakari Richardson. Usain Bolt coming out and saying she should do a little bit more training and talk less. And we also covered when Usain Bolt said she was good for the sport. So again, a little bit of back and forth there, not giving it too much energy. Also, Mikel Antonio, he will be back for the game this weekend. Leon Bailey, spectacular performance at the weekend, as we spoke about as well. He's rested for the game today against Chelsea, so he will be back for Manchester United. And for the Manchester United fans who are also fans of the Reggae Boys, let me know who you guys will be cheering for come the weekend, as Manchester United will be playing against Aston Villa. All right, but not going too far from this. Oh, and Derby County, Ravel Morrison's Derby County, they'll be losing 12 points as they filed for administration. We will probably do an episode for that, but let's see how that pans out. We know for sure though that Derby County will be losing 12 points. Wayne Rooney, he came on Talk Sports and he said he learned of it by watching television in the morning, was watching the news, and then having seen it on news, then the chairman for Derby County reached out to him. But as I said, folks, let me know, how important do you think the fans of the Reggae Boys will be come that game against Canada at the National Stadium in the next international break? Now, the fans are the biggest critics, and some of the representatives of the national team, they'll say fans are hypocrites and fans are this and fans are that. True, fans are the hardest to please because, for one, they play the sport better than anyone else, and it's always easier to see it from the stands than to actually be on the field of play. They watch it on television and they make the best passes, they make the best substitutions, but they never actually consider putting themselves in the places of these players and of the managers as well. So I am asking you the question now: do you think fans coming back to the national stadium is a good or a bad thing for the Reggae Boys and their quest for the World Cup qualification in 2022 Qatar? We know the significant role that the fans played in the 1998 campaign. Will it be the same this time around? Will they play that role of the 12th man, as we've titled this episode? 12 man is always important. Liverpool fans, they will talk about it, and they'll talk about it at length because Liverpool, they have some of the best fans in English football. Hello from Orlando. Blessings, Ingrid Jarrett. Blessings all the way there in Orlando. For the next 6 or 7 minutes or so, I'll be picking the brains of my subscribers to find out what we think of the fans. Personally, I think the fans, it's always a pleasure playing in front of your home crowd, and sometimes the coach isn't enough to motivate you to play. We've seen the levels that football has gone up since fans have been allowed back in the different stadiums, and this has been the case throughout the different leagues. Kevin Eccleston, welcome. As I said, this has been the case across all Europe top 5 leagues. Fans coming back into the stadium means the higher quality football, higher levels. It has gone up a notch, and it means only good things for those teams. Will this be the same with the Reggae Boys? We know they played a home game against Panama so far. We brought in so many English talent, 8 players to be exact. They came out, they played. They didn't look anything like they're like what we're used to them looking like on a weekly basis when they're playing for their clubs. So could the fans actually pull this out of them, pull these performances, pull similar performances out of them, the mere fact that they're in the stands? I want to know, and it's a big question too, because we go out there and we watch football on a daily basis, but sometimes we undermine the significance that fans play in the quality of football. Never have I heard anyone talking about the fans are the reason why folks play such wonderful football. I've never heard it. It's always the coach or the players. But I significantly think the fans, they play a pivotal role in the quality of football that we get. And although they're the greatest critics and the most harsh critics as well, it also puts the onus on the players to come with their best game, because only their best, and sometimes even their best isn't good enough for some fans. That's how demanding fans are. I know Theodore Whitmore, he isn't the best communicator. Sometimes he looks dejected on the sideline. And I think with the fans behind him in the stands, it will call for more from him as well. So it's not only about calling for more it's not only about calling for more from the players, but it's also about expecting more and calling for more from the managers. If you've ever played football at any level whatsoever, you'll know what it's like playing. And even if you're not playing well, that's when you hear the wrath of fans. And oftentimes, some things come out of those stands that, yeah, I agree with you, that the fans do help the players as well. Yes, yeah, I and the mere fact that a letter was drafted and sent to the Jamaican government to allow fans back in the stadium, it shows, because the Reggae Boyz, they will need that 12th man. They will need the fans behind them, because so far in this campaign, they haven't had fans, and the performances that we've seen, they've been far from motivating. We saw them in the Gold Cup. We know the capacity at most of these stadiums, it was very, very much reduced then, right? So they were only playing at a fraction of the actual capacity, and the performances, they matched it. The performances, they looked as if there wasn't anyone in the stands yelling or shouting for them to do better. So I have to be inclined to think that with fans in the stadium, because it's never a question of the quality, right? It's never a question of the quality. And sometimes we go as far as to say players aren't playing well because of the manager and the manager's lack of tactics. But also, I let me put it out there to you that players, if we're allowing them then to play each player to play their individual games, that we see with Manchester United every now and then, where a superstar or a player comes up with a moment of brilliance. Oftentimes the case. Little about tactics, more about individual brilliance. Now, the Reggae Boyz, they have a bunch of players who are good on their day. They're good enough players. Some of the best players in CONCACAF, they play for Jamaica, if we're to be honest, right? If these players are to go out there and play their individual games, a moment of brilliance oftentimes help, right? Adding to that, fans oftentimes motivate or encourage moments of brilliance, right? Because even we watched the games at the weekend. As soon as Leon Bailey got on the score sheet, whenever he got the ball, again, the fans were chanting, shoot, 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 right? A few minutes later, he went down and he left the field. But again, we have to value the significance that fans play in football. Kind of like the Colosseum. For those who watch Spartacus or all those movies from back in the days, if these warriors were fighting in the Colosseum without fans, do you think you would have gotten that same level of energy and motivation? No. So it's very much the same thing. I think the Reggae Boyz, they will need the fans. They will need the 12th man. And I think only us, the fans, can actually pull the best out of them. Because at this point, the manager, we've said it time and time again, he's out of his depth. Whether or not they'll change the managers, no, I don't think so. I think the ship has sailed, water under the bridge for now. But we still have the fans, right? And us, the fans, we can play our part. And should the government allow the fans into the national stadium, I think we can actually get a performance out of the Reggae Boyz. Whether it is by shouting or chanting or singing the songs, we can do it. And I am urging, I'm lobbying for the fans to be allowed to get back into the stadium as well, because I've seen what fans have done for football throughout the world so far. We know COVID, it's nothing like we've experienced before. It's something totally new to everybody. Not sure if you guys have experienced it. If you haven't, let me know. I certainly haven't any time in my lifetime, and I haven't been on this earth for very long. But I must say, it's a new experience to everybody. And the mere fact, getting the mere thought or idea of getting fans back into the stadium, it motivates players as well. And we'll see players coming doing interviews and saying they did it for the fans. We watching Real Madrid a few weeks ago. I saw Vinicius Jr. He scored and he actually leapt into the stands where the fans were sitting, just to allow them the opportunity to embrace him. And it's that sort of thing I'm talking about. In 1998, the fans were key members of that Reggae Boyz team that ended up in the World Cup. And I think in 2021, 2022, the fans will play a significant role as well. Let me know what you, the viewers, think. Like, share, subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section. Noranda Brown here from Halftime TV saying, until next time, bye-bye. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the National Stadium come that next international break as the Reggae Boyz take on Canada. Yep, my two teams. I live in Canada. I'm from Jamaica. So I'll be cheering for both of them, but keeping my fingers crossed and hoping the Reggae Boyz, they get this one. They get this one in the bag. They take all 3 points there. We're needing it more than Canada as things stand right now. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, folks. Bye bye. Until next time, I'll see you guys.